Well, good morning, everybody. We are starting our next unit, which is on ratios, proportions, and similar figures. So today your first lesson is on ratios, which is probably something, sorry about that, you have worked with before, um, and not realized it or realized it and just never really thought about it. So let's figure out what a ratio is, okay? So a ratio is just a comparison of two quantities. Um, you can think of like baking, right? Like how many cups of sugar to flour, things like that. We have different ways you can represent this. When you write them, you can either have A to B like this with a little colon between them. You could have a fraction like A over B, or you could simply write out A to B. So there are three different ways to write a fraction, where A and B are just like numbers, okay? But the biggest thing you want to remember is to reduce. You want to reduce. Very, very important, okay? So you might have to dig back into that Algebra 1 brain of yours and figure out how do we reduce something. Okay, so the first few examples are very straightforward. It says write each ratio in simplest form. A music store has 20 trumpets, 18 clarinets, 24 violins, 17 flutes, and 8 trombones in stock. You want to write the ratio of trumpets to violins. So let's look here. There's 20 trumpets to 24 violins. So I'm going to write it as a fraction. And order does matter, folks. So do you guys see how trumpets was first? So that's number that has to go on top. Now we need to reduce this. So you can either do this on your calculator, which is hard to do when I'm not there to show you, or you can just kind of think about it. You're thinking, how does 20 over 24 reduce? Well, I know the biggest number that goes into both of them is 4. So I'm going to divide each number by 4. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 24 divided by 4 is 6. So that is the ratio of trumpets to violins. All right, let's try another one. Flutes to clarinets. So 17 over 18. Can I reduce 17 over 18? Nope, no I can't. All right. Trombones to trumpets. So we're going to have 8 over 20. Again, we want to think about, can I reduce this? Yep, yes you can. You could do 2, right? But there's a bigger number than 2 that goes into 8 and 20, and that would be 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 20 divided by 4 is 5. Last one here is violins to total instruments. So violins is 24. Now total instruments, well that means, folks, we have to add up all of our individual instruments here and get a total number. So 20 plus 18 plus 24 plus 17 plus 8. You got to add all those up. So if I do that real quick here in my calculator, I should be getting a total of 87. 24 over 87. Does that reduce? This one's kind of a hard one. It does. 3, which not that I expect you to know how to do this one. 3 goes into these. Good practice though. So 24 divided by 3 is 8. 87 divided by 3 is 29. So that is your final answer on that one. Okay? Okay. The next part in your notes is just a table, because now we might be having some different units. So you might have feet and inches, or centimeters and meters. So this will just be a good way for you to be able to convert those measurements, okay? So just look here if you're ever lost on how many inches are in a foot, or how many feet are in a yard, and so forth. Okay, so let's try this. Simplify each ratio. So first we gotta look, do we have the same units? I have 18 cats over 30 cats. Cats would be our units and they have to be the same, okay? So if we notice here, cat over cat would be the same unit, right? They're both cats, so we can cross that part off. Now we want to simplify 18 over 30. You can do this in your calculator, which I wish I was there to show you because it's kind of difficult for me to tell you over the computer, but I'm going to try. So in your calculator, if you follow along with me, folks, you're going to hit 18, the ABC button, then 30. And then it should simplify it for you, and you should get 3/5. So that's your final answer. But if you don't know where the ABC button is in your calculator, you could think, what number goes into 18 and 30? Well, I know 6 goes into both of them, so I'm going to divide them both by 6. So 18 divided by 6 is 3. 30 divided by 6 is 5. Okay, very good. Our next one here, we have inches over feet. Okay, so remember step 1, do we have the same unit? We don't. We have inches and feet. And you always want to convert to the smaller unit. So if I look up here, there's 12 inches and 1 foot. So if I have 2 feet, how many inches is that? Well, 2 times 12 gives me 24 inches. So now I have inches over inches, so my units cancel. And now we have to simplify 15 over 24. So again, 15 ABC 24 is 5 over 8. And if you aren't doing the ABC button, you would hopefully notice that 3 goes into both of those. So again, 15 divided by 3 is 5. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Okay, last one on this page, folks. We have feet over yards, so different units. If I look up here, in 1 yard there are 3 feet. So if I have 10 yards, I have to take 10 times 3 to get 30 feet. So now, let's cross off our units and simplify 20 over 30. So 20, the ABC button, 30 equals 2/3. One last time, if you're not using that ABC button, hopefully you notice that 10 goes into both of those. 20 divided by 10 is 2. 30 divided by 10 is 3. Okay, flip it over. Here we go. We have 22 dogs over 34 dogs. Your dogs cancel. So 22 ABC 34 gives us 11 over 17. 6 quarts over 3 gallons. So different units. Let's come back to our chart here. Gallons and quarts. So if we look, I see 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. So we got to change 3 gallons to quarts. So 3 times 4 is 12 quarts. So now my quarts cancel. Simplify 6 over 12. So 6 ABC 12 gives me 1/2. Last one like this, folks, 200 centimeters over 5 meters. Again, we got to convert meters. Okay, here we go. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So if I have 5 meters, 5 times 100 is 500 centimeters. Cross off your centimeters. Now simplify 200 over 500. So again, in your calculator, 200, the ABC button, 500, equals 2/5. Beautiful. So if we're a little shaky on how to reduce, try your best today without me being there, and I will catch you up to speed on Monday, okay? Now, the last part of our lesson is an extended ratio. So it's a comparison of 3 or more quantities or numbers. Okay, so it's not just 2 anymore, it's up to potentially 3. So what would that look like? It'd be a number to another number to another number. So we would have 3 things instead of 2. So solve the following using ratios or extended ratios. Okay, here we go. So this first one here, it says we want the ratio of AB to BC. What does that mean? Well, this means I want the lengths of both of those segments. So if we look here, we got to figure out how far is A to B. So 1, 2, 3. So AB equals 3. Now let's figure out how far B to C is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. BC equals 5. So if I wanted the ratio of those two, I have to put AB first. So 3 to 5. There you go. You just had to count on that one. Okay, our next one here, we want the ratio of EF to FG. Okay, I lied. That's not what we want. Where they're telling us the ratio from EF to FG is 5 to 3. Find EF and FG. So we are actually looking for the lengths of these segments here, okay? That is our end goal. Now, how we do that, since they're giving us the ratio, we know like how many parts to what part it is based on this 5 to 3. We just don't know what that part equals, but we will. So write down what I write down, okay? So I know E to F is 5 parts. So I would put 5x, and we're going to figure out what that x is. And I know that FG is our 3 parts, okay? Now together, those two segments have to add to what? I'm hoping you're thinking 24. So really, folks, you're going to have 5x plus 3x instead equal to 24. And now we just solve like normal. How many x's do we have? Well, we have 8. How do you get x alone? Well, you simply just divide. So we're going to find that x is equal to 3. Okay, so we figured out what x is, but we haven't found out what EF is or FG, but we will. So EF equals that 5 times what we found, 3. So 5 times 3 is 15. And now FG equals 3 times 3, which is 9. And what the best part is, you guys, is you can check. 15 plus 9 in your calculator gives you what? 24, which is what you wanted this whole time. Beautiful. Good job. Let's try another one. The perimeter of a rectangle is 44 feet. The ratio of the length to width is 7 to 4. Find the length and width. Okay, I need you to do what I do on this one. Please, please, please give yourself a picture. Otherwise, you're going to make so many more mistakes. There's the picture of our rectangle. And we're told the perimeter, which is if you were to walk all the way around the outside, is 44 feet. Now again, they give us the ratio of our length and width, but we don't know how much they are, but we know the part. So I know my length is 7x, and I know my width is 4x. But now, when you get the perimeter, folks, remember it's all the way around, not just two sides. So don't forget to account for the top and the other side, okay? So now we know, folks, if you were to walk all the way around the rectangle, how many total x's would you have? So you're going to have to write it out, and that's okay. So we're going to have 7x plus 4x plus 7x plus 4x, and that's going to equal 44. And now we just simplify. How many x's do we have? Well, 7 plus 4 plus 7 plus 4 should give you 22x, right? Our Taylor Swift number, 22. And then we'll divide out. X should be 2. Wonderful. Now, it's pretty easy from here, folks. We just got to plug in our length. 7 times 2 gives me 14. Our width, 4 times 2 gives me 8. And we're golden. We should probably be good. They did give us a unit, so we can put feet on both of those. Awesome. Okay, let's try another. The ratio of two complementary angles is 3 to 7. Find the measures of both angles. Keyword there is complementary. Which one is complementary? I'm hoping you're thinking that it's 90. So I know that these two angles together, I know angle 1 and angle 2, and if I add them together, they have to equal 90. Our first angle is 3x. Our second angle is 7x. Now together, those two angles have to add to 90. Okay, how many x's do we have? 3 plus 7 gives me 10x. Last step, divide by 10. X is equal to 9. But now our answer is not 9. We got to plug back in. So to find angle 1, we're going to have 3 times 9. 3 times 9 is 27. Angle 2, 7 times 9. 7 times 9 is 63. Double check, right, you guys? What's 27 plus 93? I lied, 63. That is indeed 90. So all is well in the world. It checks out. All right, these last two are pretty similar to what we just did. It says the ratio of the measures of the angles in a triangle is 4 to 7 to 9. Find the measures of the angles. So we got to figure out, what do the angles of a triangle add to? Well, I think you guys all know is that they add to 180. So now it's the same old same. We know that 4x plus 7x plus 9x equals 180. Equals 180. Now, add up our x's. 4 plus 7 plus 9 gives us 20. Get x alone, divide by 20. X should be, x should be 9. There we go, 9. But again, we're not looking for x, we're looking for what each angle is. So we got to plug in. So let's put 4 times 9 here, 36. 7 times 9, 63. Then our last one, folks, 9 times 9, 81. Double check for good measure, 36 plus 63 plus 81, 180 degrees. It all checks out, we're good to go. Okay, last one, folks. The ratio of two supplementary angles is 4 to 1. Find the measures of both angles. Keyword there is supplementary, which we know means they add to 180. So again, 4x plus x equals 180. How many x's do we have? Well, we have 5x. How do we get x alone? Well, we divide both sides by 5. X gives us 36. Now we want to find the measures of those angles, so 4 times 36 gives us 144 degrees. And this one is just 1x, so 1 times 36 is just 36. What's 144 plus 36? 180. It checks out. We're good to go. Folks, I know this is kind of a probably more challenging lesson for me not to be at school with you for. Try your very best on the homework. You'll be just fine. Use your notes. Simplify what you can. Check your answers on the bottom. And we will fix any mistakes or errors come Monday. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.